The history of the H.M.S. Bounty. The H.M.S. Bounty was the name given to the Klingon bird of prey commandeered by Captain Kirk and his crew in the year 2285. The name was originally suggested by Dr. Leonard H. McCoy as an ironic joke in reference to the famous sea-going vessel of the same name, which was taken over by mutineers in the 18th century. The bird of prey operating under its original name was a 23rd century Klingon starship. This bird of prey was in the custody of the Klingon Imperial Fleet. Commander Krug was the commanding officer of this ship. He had convinced his crew members aboard the vessel that they should acquire the Genesis device from the Federation for the Empire. In furtherance of this goal, the bird of prey attempted to disable the USS Grissom by targeting the engine section, which resulted in the inadvertent destruction of the science vessel. Later, in a confrontation with the USS Enterprise, the bulk of Krug's crew was killed when Kirk manipulated them on board the Enterprise, which was subsequently destroyed via a self-destruct. After the death of Krug on the surface of the Genesis planet, Kirk and his crew were easily able to commandeer the ship, and used it to transport Spock, whose body had been regenerated by the Genesis wave, to Mount Seleia on Vulcan, where his Katra was successfully reunited with his body. After 3 months, during which the Bounty underwent repairs such as maintenance and conversion of some of its operating systems, Kirk and his crew used the ship to return to Earth in order to face charges regarding their unauthorized appropriation of the Enterprise. During their journey home, however, they were made aware of the destructive effects on Earth from an extremely powerful alien probe. Upon further investigation, Spock realized that the probe was attempting to establish communication with humpback whales, a species which had been extinct for 200 years. Having no choice, the crew elected to undertake the extremely risky slingshot effect to travel back in time and retrieve 2 humpback whales with the intention of returning them to the 23rd century and re-establishing communications with the probe. After successfully using a time warp to travel back to the year 1986, Kirk ordered the Bounty to set down in Golden Gate Park, under cloak. Although it initially appeared as if the crew would be unable to return to their own time due to the decrystallization of the ship's dilithium crystals, as a result of time travel, Spock was able to develop a plan whereby high-energy photons could be collected from the nuclear reactor of a naval vessel and then injected into the dilithium chamber, causing recrystallization. As this was occurring, Captain Scott performed a series of modifications to the Bounty's cargo bay, transforming it into a whale tank with which to transport the humpbacks. The modifications complete, the Bounty departed to retrieve the whales, in the process coming across a Finnish whaling vessel attempting to kill the whales. Still under cloak, the crew positioned the Bounty between the boat and the whales, successfully deflecting a harpoon. Kirk then ordered the Bounty decloaked, an act which had the effect of frightening the whalers off. Using the Bounty's transporter, the whales were beamed aboard, and the crew was able to recreate the time warp and return to the 23rd century. However, upon their arrival, the Bounty's power systems began to fail as a result to their close proximity to the probe, and subsequently crashed northwest of Alcatraz in the San Francisco Bay. As there was no power left in which to open the bay doors, the whales were trapped in danger of drowning, necessitating Kirk swimming underwater and accessing the explosive override, opening the doors and freeing the whales. After a brief round of communications between the whales and the probe ceased its destructive signal and departed Earth. Background information. In Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home, the design of the bridge aboard the Bounty was completely redressed from the vessel's original appearance in Star Trek III: The Search for Spock. This appearance acted as a reference for all future bridges aboard Klingon ships. An earlier storyboard draft of Star Trek VI: The Undiscovered Country featured the Bounty in space dock, being disassembled by Starfleet engineers. A blocking model of the bird of prey was created by ILM, and was made from foam core, cardstock, styrene, and plastic. According to the Star Trek Encyclopedia, the authors assumed that the bird of prey in Star Trek III was a Burrell-class ship. The The Star Trek customizable card game gives the bounty the original name as the IKS Quapah. The Decipher RPG model starships identify it as the IKS Burrell, the prototype of the class, and gives its registry as IKC 9200. The novel Chimes at Midnight calls it the IKS Qatari. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and please share. Have a great day.